Get ready for some cool talk. Presented by Brown's Heating, Air, and Plumbing. With your host, Brandon Brown.
Good morning. Good morning. Up. There we are. Welcome to Cool Talk. I'm Brandon Brown with Brown's Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Thank you for joining us on the new Roku TV, if you're watching. Also, the app has been updated. We said last week, a lot of neat features. Everything's updated now. So check out Grove Street FM app, or, all the podcast platforms, Apple, Android, Spotify, whatever. You can find Cool Talk and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you're on the web, the app and the website, if you do contact us and do a message, you can send us a text message. It comes right to our screens here on our tablets. So if you have a question or a comment, anything about the show, please do that. Hit the contact us, or you can text us from your phone, and that number, I forgot it. What was that number, Woody?
It's 540
540
855 7388.
7388. Just send a text, put your name in it, or this is so-and-so, and shout out to Cool Talk, or let us know where you're listening from. I know we've got some different listeners all over the area, so welcome to the show. Yesterday was an awesome day. We installed our second giveaways heat pump for the Winfields in Evanston, Virginia, who won the free giveaway. They were very, very appreciative, very, very happy. It was perfect timing because it's gotten cold this week, and they had no heat, just bundling up an extra blanket. So it was perfect timing, beautiful day. We thank Chick-fil-A. They showed up with lunch for the crew that was installing it, my crew, and the Winfields. So we got to eat lunch with them and hang out with them for several hours yesterday and just kind of get to know them. And it just feels awesome. Woody come out and got a lot of good video footage and interviews. We thank you for that, Woody.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a good feeling. It's a good day to see someone get something they need. You desperately need heat and air. And I know people say, you can get by without air, which you can. You can get window unit stuff, but the heat is a different story. You don't want water lines to freeze. You don't want the house getting so cold and musky and moldy. So that was definitely a great day to get that in. And they should have woke up this morning feeling nice and warm. So thank you all again who made giveaway number 2 a great success. I am looking forward to number 3 already. I know it's a year away, but usually takes about a year to plan them. People think it's quick. And I was also reached out to, I was telling them the other day, a company in Christiansburg, Heat and Air Company, actually saw, I guess, our giveaway or got all the info, and they actually reached out and like, hey, do you mind if we did that in Christiansburg? It's such a great idea. And I was, we're not going to come near Lynchburg. We're in Christiansburg, so we're not doing that area. And I'm like, yeah, if you can help people that need, definitely. So I help, give them some information and tips to get it started. And maybe this will spread out across the country and start helping people get, heat and air that's needed. So that's that's really good. Good to see people want to help now, and it's spreading it. Like spread the love. And be good to people, even for no reason. That I saw that the other day on Facebook, a picture, and it be good to people for no reason, and that's what we should all be doing in life. So we thank you for that. We thank everybody who's been calling and lining up their maintenance. And this is perfect time if you need your heat and air maintenance done. Give us a call at Brown's Heating, Air, and Plumbing, 434-610. 4373. We have a maintenance special going on right now to the end of the year. Also have some memberships. That's really great benefits to get joined on. Keep your systems clean and running smoothly, so you'll have heat as well when it gets colder out. So now's the perfect time to get that lined up and get your system running. Make sure you check in your smoke detector batteries and stuff like that, because October is fire prevention month, and we'd like to make sure we advertise for that. Change your smoke detector batteries, carbon monoxide batteries, If you have fireplaces, make sure you get the chimneys cleaned and checked and all your safety stuff, so you don't have any kind of emergencies this winter. But definitely give us a call for all your heating and air and plumbing needs. And we are proud to say we won gold in the Lynchburg Living
Nice.
Best Heating and Air Company.
Congratulations.
First place, and we got. I was not expecting this because we've only been plumbing since February, but we got third place in plumbing. So our plumbing crew has been doing a fantastic job coming on and growing that side, service calls, water heaters, some renovations. We did not expect that at all, but we did get that. So I know we've gotten it before, and a lot of people say, well, that it's easy, but it's not. It's a lot of companies in that when they go to vote and nominate. I mean, it's usually over 20 heat and air companies in there for best of, and to win first place for the second or third, I think it's the third time in a row. It's a lot of work. I mean, my employees do it day in, day out. They show up. They're in a good mood. They treat the customers with respect. They treat our values, and they show our values. So it's definitely, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of my guys, my employees, my company, my office workers, everybody, because without them, we would not be in for, get the best heat and air company because of that. So as an overall company, it makes me really, really proud to be the owner. When you have 30 guys, 30 employees, it's a lot of work to keep things flowing.
Well, and to build like a culture, a company culture where everybody's on board and everybody is part of the team, same thing, same ideals, like, that starts from the top. So well done.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. It does. It's finding the people, and that's the hardest thing now. One, you're trying to find even people that'll apply for a job and do trades is 10 times harder now than it was 5 years ago. But then on top of that, if you look for specific people inside of the few you're getting that have that attitude, that love, that care that you have as an owner, and owners like and me and my wife portray how we want our company run. So you've got to find, you're very, very selective on who you hire. And then when you do hire them, you have to train them and let them know, we're a company where the customer's first. You have to go out of your way sometimes to make sure that they're happy 100%, and you make sure, and that's just our job and our purpose. So finding those people to hire is definitely hard, and it's going to get harder because, the trades are kind of slacking off, but we're trying to build them back up and get more people involved in the trades. And I think that'll come back once people realize that even like during the lockdown and with COVID, all the trades kept working and kept their jobs because they were essential. So heat and air, electrical, plumbing, welding, machinists, they all had to work. So these trades are I think people are finally seeing that they're needed. And it's very important to get the kids involved in the trades early. I know there's I was talking to we were sitting there eating lunch with the Winfields yesterday, and we were talking about college because their daughter is getting ready to go to college and all. We were just talking about, how it all goes nowadays with college. And I told them, I've always said for years, I think when first year of college, that kids should not be able to declare a major to the second year.
Yeah.
Because it either gets changed or they drop out or they get halfway into these classes, deciding that's not what they want to do, and then the credits don't transfer. So my philosophy would be nationwide, why would you get out of high school, transition to college slowly? Just give the general education that you need, the general studies classes for the first year. Give them a year to see what they really want to do.
Yeah.
And explore options. Like throughout that year, you have the freshmen, you would have different expos and conventions with all the other majors, and you go talk to professors and students in them and see what it's about. And then you pick one in your second year, because so many kids go and decide to switch or drop out within the first year. And there's so many people that end up in the trades that get a degree in something they never will use before. So it's just, something that I think people get rushed. Students get pushed to, I think kids push to decide so quick. And then a lot of them move out of the home and live at college. That's a life changing event in itself. And then you have to declare a major. You're only, at 18 years old, you really don't know what you want to do.
No, not at all.
So I've always told people go to there's nothing wrong with community college for the first 2 years. Get your general studies out the way. By then you can then you study on, then you know what major you want to do, and you can go to a different college for major or stay at the community college.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And you may decide in them first years, hey, I really don't want to do anything that I can get a major on. I want to learn a trade. There's school classes for that, and you can take one as an elective and try to learn it. So keep that in mind if you're listening and looking into college. You do have them options. I hate to hear if people get stressed that they have to declare majors first year of college.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of them, I guess some places to get loans and grants, you have to have a major declared, I reckon. I don't know if you can just go.
It's just so much pressure.
It is.
Like you've decided your career path. Like you remember when you were 18, right? Like, I mean, it's just kind of weird that like you have to, and all the debt that comes with it, right? It's like you said, community college is the way to go, though, I think.
And that kind of, it takes me back to when I was deciding to get into heating and air and how it came about. I grew up 3 brothers and a sister, big, kind of big family. And my dad was working 1 or 2 jobs. My mom got to stay home with us, but she ran a home daycare. So at any given time, we had 10, 12 kids in the house all the time. So I grew up around a lot of people, getting to know people, getting to know the parents, getting to know the kids, getting to know the neighborhood. And I grew up also, in my actual initial profession at 18 that I thought I was going to do, I never did. So I actually was able, by the time I picked what I wanted to do, I had enough time to decide. But I was raised in Concord, Virginia, which is a small little town. And I was the person that, we went to church every Sunday, but I loved it. I was Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night Awanas, Saturday night youth group, Thursday. And I was there, like anytime the doors was open, I was there, getting to know people and stuff. And I even got to the point to where it was a group of us, about 3 or 4, I think it was 3 guys, me and 2 others that declared, I was like 16, we all said, hey, we want to, when I grow up or when I go to college, I want to go to college to be a preacher. So we were called, we would start not training, but studying with the pastor there. And every 4 or 5 weeks on Sunday night service, it would be youth night where we would actually have to get up and preach. So for about a year, I did that. I loved it, and I would preach or give a testimony or speak to church, and I was all in. I was 100% going to LU, to the Bible college, and become a preacher. And then as it got closer, the more I looked into it, I was not a school person. I didn't hate school. I love school.
Yeah.
But I'm not a test taker. I'm not a reader. I like being in the shop making stuff. I liked doing stuff hands on. I was not. And the older I got and got to looking at the program, it was just so many hours of reading and research and studying. I just knew that I wouldn't have wanted to do that. But number 2, also, I wouldn't have been able to really afford it because I knew it was going to be expensive. And I was talking going into my junior year to my guidance counselor at the time, trying to decide what I wanted to do. Because at that time we had a Votech school, because I was like, I really want to get into Votech, maybe do small engine repairs or machines, something with my hands. And that was the first year that she's like, well, they just passed a dual enrollment with CVCC. You could go there half a day and learn a trade. And I said, a trade? What is that? She's like, you could pick heat and air, electrical, plumbing, welding, and you can go there for a couple hours and come here and not have to go to the Votech, which was a different school. And at the time, I was like, I knew nothing about it. I didn't even know what a thermostat was, nothing about heat and air. But it sounded cool because, I got to research and, you get to work your different places each day. I liked that. I hated sitting in one area. You were inside, outside. So I said, well, let me try that. So I tried that my junior year, and I just fell in love with it, and I really did want to, and still want to be a preacher, but my path kind of turned once I got to really have time to think about it. Wasn't forced to pick a major. And the more I did heating and air, and then and learned to love it, I was also realizing that this is also a service for people.
Yeah.
There's many ways to serve people. Even though I wasn't preacher or doing what I thought I was going to do preaching, I felt like I was serving a purpose because loved what I was doing, but I was also showing up to somebody's house. And to me, it was a crisis. A lot of times it is a crisis. You have no heat, no air, and being able to fix their problem and come up and say, "Hey, your air conditioning's been fixed," and to see the excitement on, get people excited. Oh, so I don't need a new one. No, I was able to fix it. You'll have heat now. You may need a new one later, but for right now, you don't have to spend that much money. And it just felt so gratifying to me to be able to go house to house, get to know people, and provide a service because they were in a time of need.
Yeah.
And I was also at the time volunteer firefighter. In that mindset as well. As an EMT, we would do volunteer, and I worked for the fire department when I first started my business in 2006. Of course, you remember in 2008 the housing market crashed.
Yeah.
A lot, and that was a pretty, at the hindsight 2020. I didn't know it then, but I went in business 2006. But nobody foresaw a housing market crash in 2008. So then all of a sudden, the work was slow. But luckily, I was just by myself at the time, so I was doing enough to pay my bills. And then also I applied for the Lynchburg Fire Department and got on in 2008. And so I did both of them. I did Lynchburg Fire, and then on my days off, I would do heating and air. And then it just, of course, the market started coming back up. Work was picking back up. Getting around and getting to know people, and knowing the people as I grew up that helped give us work. So having a good base, a customer base that already knew me was what helped me a lot. And then we got to the point, I was at the fire department about 7 years. I was then at the point to where I had to make a decision. Do I stay and just have keep the company just small and doing whatever it does, or I could take this leap knowing that there was work there to grow. And at that time I decided in 2015 to leave the fire department and concentrate 100% on heat and air, which was a huge decision because I had two boys. We just had our second son, Dawson, at 15 in 2015. At home, I'm leaving the fire department, which was guaranteed, health insurance without having to pay it on my own, retirement. But it was a lot of opportunity presented as we were growing. And I had a couple employees at the time to where we could grow even more. So with a lot of, thinking and debating back and forth, I took the leap and went straight to, just heating and air full time, put my attention on that 100% of the time. And we started growing, tremendously.
And then look at you now.
Yeah. Look at
now
me
you're having giveaways and I show up yesterday and then I show up and I see 3 Brown's heating, air, and plumbing vehicles. And he's got 3 people working in the house, and you've got it was nice to see so many logos floating around. That's got to be a proud feeling.
It does. And that's why when you get the email, hey, you won gold in heat and air.
Yeah.
It just means so much because it's just so much work. It's 16 years. It's a long time, yes, but it's almost like 16 years. It took that long to, it did. It took every bit of 16 years to build what we have. And it's a lot of pride there. Proud of the people, proud of the company. Of course, proud of the people that call us, the people that believe in us. It's just so, it just all comes full circle, and I step back and look at it like, I can't believe I'm here. I never in a million years Um, even when I first started, I first started my heating and air business. Well, I worked for a company. When I first went into business, I hardly had nothing. I had to borrow $3,000 from, at the time, my wife at the time was my girlfriend's dad, because he had a car lot and he would go to auctions, and I had to like kind of borrow the money. He gave me the van, and I had to make payments to him. Because at the time I had no credit. Banks
Yeah.
laughed at me. I need a loan. Oh, sorry, you ain't getting it here.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't believe how many banks I went through begging for, just give me $1,000.
Yeah.
I'll find something for $1,000. Just give me. And I was told no. And I, and I had to plead, and I promised, him. I said, you give me the van, I will make the payments, and I did. I paid it off. And then 08, the housing market crashes. We had like 6 houses going at once in Forest for a builder who filed bankruptcy and didn't pay me. Left me with $30,000. Owed me about $30,000 at the time for about 7-8 houses of going on, several units and systems, ductwork and all. I owed the equipment place money. I owed some subs money. I owed myself money. He filed bankruptcy, didn't pay none of it. So I had to go get a loan from another local bank just to pay the equipment off to keep the account open so I could keep working. So I made, of course, a 5-year loan on that. It's just, to think back at all this stuff and told no, and then, couldn't get vehicles and just had to slow. And that's why I tell people, you go in business, it takes time do not rush. Do not rush. It takes time. It's step by step to build everything you've got, because you could build it for years, and it doesn't take but 5 seconds to come down, and lose everything you got. Don't go in business wide open, put every dime you got 100% and thinking it's going to take off without a backup plan. That's one thing I wish I knew then that I know now. That I would always suggest to people. Always have a backup plan, have a financial advisor, have a good CPA. You have to have a good group of team people around you that you trust, that are going to be honest with you. Even though you have big ideas and it may cost a lot of money, you need people in your corner to say, yes, that'll work, but let's do it this way over 3 years. Let's not do everything in a day. Because there's just been so much, and business owners that are listening know that. And we talked about this last week, that you go through so many stresses of being told no. I mean, trying to get things going and get your name out there. It is nonstop hard work. And that's how I got into heat and air. It's a lot more details and stories I could tell, that I'll bring up again, and we can continue this later. But it's just, I'm proud. Yes, we're definitely proud of what we got. I'm proud of the people around me that help us, that help us advertise, that help us market, that help us spread the word. My employees who come in every day, and that's one thing that we take pride in. Me and my wife and I, as top priority for us, is our employees. Yes, our customers, absolutely, but our employees, we know how much they work for us. They get up every morning and come to work. Because I remember going to work for a company, and there was days I didn't want to go to work. I wanted to stay in the bed. Who cares what they got going on today? I'm just, I'm just gonna stay home. And I know how that feels, to have to get up and work every day for somebody.
Yep.
So if you're listening and you want to grow and do it the right way, you take care of your employees first. Take care of them. Make them feel like everything they do and they do to help your company grow. Make sure they get the credit. Make sure they know they're wanted. You thank them, because they're the reason that as we're growing, that we're continuing to grow. They're going out every day doing the job that we put forth. In the heat, in the cold, in the rain, it doesn't matter. And we're so thankful for our employees in the field, in the office. My wife and I we love them, as family. We take care of them. We try to do extra for them, because it's hard to find They got a lot of life. They got life going on too. Everybody's got stuff going on at home, stuff going on, with friends and family. But they still show up every day and do what you ask, and they give 100%. So you definitely got to keep those people and keep your employees and keep your customers too. You definitely, we are so proud. We're thankful for our customers, everybody who voted for us to get number one heating and air and third in plumbing. We wouldn't do it. We couldn't do it without our customers that call back every time. We have customers that call back because, and I'll be honest, we have some customers that call back and use us again because, yes, we may have made a mistake one time at their house, but the way we handle it and fixed it and reach back out and make sure we go above and beyond to do what's right just, stands out to our guys. My guys will do it automatically. My service techs are guys. If something they think they forgot or they may have messed up, they'll make sure they go out of their way to call that customer or back to the job to make sure it's right. So that's just small things like that. Because nobody's perfect. Everybody is going to mess up. It's just how you take that mess up and that mix up or whatever happens and how you move forward. So we're so thankful for that. And especially we're thankful for this podcast as well. Grove Street, this is that if you can see us here now, we would have never thought we would be on video.
That
picture I put on Chris's, you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah, we were looking yesterday.
A small table, a
little spool,
one mic.
And I think the very first episode, I have a picture of you during your first episode where, I don't know, it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like we were putting a table in yesterday and just sitting back and like, man,
and you should be proud of that, Woody. I'm proud of you.
We're having fun. I've got some good show hosts that have been consistent and stuck it out, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I'm happy you're growing. If you're listening to Central Virginia and you need anybody for help with your marketing, your website, your commercials, give Woody a call. If you see our commercials on TV, he videos all of them. The ones on WSET, he does our commercials. He's helped with that. He helps with other people's websites, get you seen, other people's commercials. So give him a call because he's growing and he does phenomenal work. I'm proud to have him on helping us in this group growing. That's what we like. We like other businesses to grow together because we learn from each other. Yep. We're just praying, and I'm glad I'll be gone the next 2 weeks. So I got 2 minutes to get out of here because we got Casey who works for Woody. She's due any time now for a baby.
Now. Brandon might be delivering a baby.
We're gonna try not to deliver live on Grove Street. I'm gonna try to get out of here, and hopefully Heather will be in by noon and she can deliver.
You see me running away from the studio?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But she's due anytime. So unfortunately, yes, the next 2 weeks I will be gone. I have to travel for work. I'll have to do some research, see if I can find somebody to sit in for me to keep Cool Talk going.
A guest host?
Yeah, I have to do it. Find some guest host.
Yeah.
I'll be in Orlando for a train conference next week, and then I have to go to Williamsburg the week after. Just happened to fall Wednesdays back to back, unfortunately. So
2 lovely locations, though.
Yeah.
Good trips.
Yeah. Get to go back down to Disney.
There you go.
So, but thank y'all, everybody, for listening and watching us and voting again. And everybody be good and join us again in 2 weeks. And God bless.